first of all, before we look at what is happening right now, your reaction to Natalie and Yuli's story about her parents being kidnapped, which we've just been listening to.
It's just horrific. And I have to tell you, there are dozens of stories like that. I mean, I was today at the funeral service where the man slaughtered was jumping on his girlfriend, both aged 22, young people. He was jumping on her. The girlfriend was just lying underneath him for 13 hours while he was bleeding to death, and terrorists inside the house, ruining and burning everything. And she was saved after 13 hours. She was out of there. She's just 21 years old. It's a young woman lying under the body of her boyfriend. And I mean, those two guys, you know, the boyfriend and the girlfriend, just two young people. They were in a house in a village of Nirim. Not, you know, they weren't at the music festival. We have so many people from the music festival, people who went to dance and sing and laugh and drink, started to run away in the fields with gunmen shooting in their backs. And, you know, those Hamas terrorists drugged kids and babies and beheaded babies. They beheaded kids. We now have that confirmed. They took kids' heads of their bodies. What is it for? Why are they taking an 85-year-old woman into captive in Gaza? For what? It's just horrific. And the number of deaths here is just unbelievable. Israel has never faced anything like that in its history. And obviously, we have over 200 soldiers already dead. We have neighbors, friends, missing people. People don't know the whereabouts of their loved one up until now. Just, I cannot remember anything like that in recent history. There is, of course, likely to be an increase in Israel's response to this. We know that. Just talk us through, Tal, this deal that Benjamin Netanyahu has struck with Benny Gantz. They've agreed essentially a temporary war cabinet, a temporary government almost on this. That is significant. Yeah, it's very significant. Israel's, politics, I mean, the public here was torn apart since Netanyahu took office in January of 2023. Obviously, he's been in power for so many years, but, you know, he had a couple of election cycles in which he weren't able to form a government. And Gantz was, you know, his competitor for many years. We've been, you know, the country was torn apart over some sort of judicial suggestion that Netanyahu was trying to put together in order to ruin the separation of power and ruin the democracy. So there was mass demonstrations here. And we came into the situation with Netanyahu very weak. I mean, I know you all know him and you know he used to be a very strong leader, but in recent years, he becoming very, very weak and ineffective. He had to put together a cabinet together with the extremist right, some people who are unworthy to be ministers, some of them are convicted felons, and his war cabinet was actually completely dysfunctional in the last 10 months. So when this erupted, he had a dysfunctional cabinet. He needed, to my opinion, he needed Gantz desperately. Gantz is a former defense minister and a former chief IDF. We need someone like that inside in order to project to the rest of the people, you know, the people who went to the demonstrations, to project that they are working together. I hope they can do it. It's really depending on the behavior, mostly Netanyahu's behavior, because he is the prime minister. Netanyahu needs to be more, I suppose, more embracing. We'll see if Gantz is able to bring in some advice, and the new war cabinet, which will be narrow than usual, will include Gantz and another former defense chief IDF. So hopefully this will bring some, at least kind of straightforward approach, more of an even behavior. I mean, this doesn't solve the problem itself. It only solves maybe the approach the of the people, but it doesn't solve the real problem that we have, is how to deal with the situation.
It may be the beginning to that resolution, or at least the beginning of some response. We wait and see.
You must understand, we have an entire region. It's like a big county, an entire region wiped out. Yeah. There's like 25 villages gone, torn, torched, no people. People were torched to death. You know, it's like a farmers and villagers area. There's nothing left there. I don't know how to...
It's undisputed. It is shocking. And Tal, I know it's never easy to talk about these things, but thank you for your reflection and response on what is happening. That is Tal Schneider.
Thank you for interviewing the two girls before me. It was very important.
No, that was absolutely right, and thank you for those comments as well.